So it's been a couple of hours, and thankfully, the whole I don't know where I'm going, I can't get through this secure area problem has gone away. For the most part. There's still occasionally one person here and there that kind of pops up and they're like, I don't know where I'm going, nothing's signposted. But for the most part, international departures are doing pretty well. This little secure area upstairs is filtering people through really, really nicely. And this one downstairs is handling a huge influx of people at all times, which is lovely. I also decided to put some plants in here, some hedges, just to separate things a little bit because this door over here wasn't getting used and I wanted it to be. It's about that simple. Everyone was coming down the escalators and they were sort of cutting across here through that door. So I figured this just spreads people out kind of nicely. I don't know if it has any benefit whatsoever to the airport, but I like how it looks and that's got to count for something. So that's kind of what's going on there. I've also decided to reposition the walkolators and put a whole bunch of benches along this massive sort of bridge thing that we have going on. And I'm kind of not sure how many people are actually using the walkolators versus choosing to just walk. But as long as they're getting to their flights, that's totally okay. And for the most part, it looks like they are. I also want to point out, some of the planes coming in have a Santa hat. I'm okay with this. I didn't know that was a thing in Airport CEO. Well, I say I didn't know it was a thing. I'm pretty sure I didn't know it was a thing, but if you pull up an old Airport CEO video and I'm like, oh my god, that plane has a Santa hat, then apparently I forgot is what I'm getting at. I'm also noticing this medium plane over here on the left as well has a Santa hat, and I like that a lot. I really do. I've also just looked at that and I'm pretty sure that's one of the vintage planes, which, yeah, it's a Comet 4, which is reminding me that I haven't played Transport Fever 2 in a really long time. And I'm pretty sure I had someone tweet me recently asking if I was going to play it again, which, yeah, I think I am. I want to get back into that. And I'm probably just going to continue where we left off in the last episode. Maybe. I feel like we were making hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe even billions. So maybe not. We'll see. Speaking of millions of dollars, though, we are sitting comfortably above 8.5 million. So what I want to do is I want to start building stuff. And I say stuff because there's nothing really specific that I want to build right now. I kind of just want to chill and build a little something something. So I'm thinking that we do an airport lounge. I think an airport lounge would be kind of cool. I'm also thinking that we could probably go ahead and set a contract to get, I don't know, bottle, I guess, can go in there. And I'm going to take out some of this hedge. So that bit of hedge right there can go. And honestly, that one right there can go as well. Because my thinking for this lounge is it's essentially going to attach to that. And I kind of want it to be pretty chunky. I might even do 2 lounges here. I'm not sure how much space we have though. So what is that? 23. So if I did, what would that be? 11. So right there is kind of our mid spot. So if I did that, that would in theory give us 2 lounges. They're not going to be the biggest, but they will certainly do the job. And I guess what we'll do is get a nice, let's go for a medium door right about there. And let's do a medium door right about there as well. And I think they are now all part of the same zone, which is fantastic. And I'm basically going to have them be sort of mirror images of each other. So they'll have essentially the same decoration. It'll just be, I don't know, a different color scheme. And then, like I said, a mirror kind of image of each other. So we'll go for this floor right here. And I think that's pretty decent. And in terms of rooms, we're looking airline lounge, which is 15 by 11, which it's not that big, but I think it's going to be big enough given the kind of limitations on furniture that the game has. So airline lounge, we can do info desks, which are fantastic. I do like that one. So we'll go for the nice kind of rounded one, I think. Although I'm not actually 100% sure, since these are smaller lounges, maybe we just go for this. Actually, no, let's do the nice round desk right there. And I want to say right there. And this is going to take up a fair chunk of space, but honestly, that's kind of okay. We'll do this. We'll do that. So you kind of go through, you go to the desk, you continue into the lounge, and you're going to do exactly the same thing on this side as well. And that might give us a pretty good space for the buffet table. And it absolutely does, which is fantastic. So we'll go right there. We'll go right there. And do I want to put a window on it? I feel like some lounges do have windows that let you look out to the rest of the terminal. Or the rest of the departures area. So you can be like, oh, my plane's here. I can see it coming in. I can get ready to go. So I'm kind of okay with this. It's maybe a little bit weird, and it's sort of, you know, if it's like a first class lounge, you're gonna be sat in there going, ah, peasants, just looking out the window. But I mean, that's fine. I've never been in a first class. I imagine that's what a first class lounge is like. I have no experience in a first class lounge, so I don't actually know, but I would imagine it's something like that. That sounds like what I imagine a first class lounge in an airport would be. So yeah, we'll stick with that idea. So let's do a little bit of wool right there, and let's do a little bit right there as well, just so we have like an extra bit of corridor. We can do some decorations down there, and I think honestly this will be fine. I don't think we need to go too crazy with the way we're doing decorating in this. I think we can just do a bunch of stools there, a couple of couches there. We can do some tables if I can get the game to go through the autosave, please. We'll go for these tables right here and right there. And I think that's fine. I do think that's completely fine. It's just it's a decent little layout. It's nothing too crazy. We can flip this around right there. And in terms of decorations, I mean, if we go to decorations, we've got, well, we have a lot of things, really. We've got statues, we've got holiday things, which are pretty cool. We've got trees and rocks, but honestly, I think we just go for something like a, I don't know, a holiday tree. Let's just put a Christmas tree in the corner there, and we'll do another one sort of there. And I think that's fine. I think honestly that's okay. Well, maybe. What if we wanted to do like a little thing in that corner, and yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. So let's see what we can do, because I want to make these only accessible to certain airlines. So I kind of want to see what airlines are coming in. So we have, I don't know what airline this is. It's Tulip Airlines. We have Wildcat Air. We've got another Tulip Airlines there. We have 2 planes for Skyfly right now. So let's do Tulip and maybe Skyfly. I guess that kind of works. So if we go down a little bit, we can see Tulip Airlines, and then Skyfly is going to be what exactly? So it's all right there. It's a little further down. Is it Sky? Am I imagining it was? So yeah, Skyfly Airlines. All right. So Tulip is red. Skyfly is kind of, I don't know, like a navy blue, I guess, is what we'll go for on that. I don't know if those colors are going to work well opposite each other, but we'll give it a shot. We'll go ahead and make these all sort of a dark red that we've been using throughout the airport. And I guess we swap out for something like that. And I guess that's okay. That's honestly not too bad. It's kind of very British Airways-ish, which is fine. And I think the tables are just going to be sort of a gray, which not really inspired, let's be honest, the color of the tables, but I think that's all right as well. And then this guy can be red, and if I right-click you, you can be that dark blue, and we'll open you. We can open you. And apparently this one's somehow a 3-star lounge while this one's a 4-star, and they're exactly the same, so that's something. It's kind of cool though. I think it's a good use of the space. And what we can go ahead and do as well is throw some benches just up this way. Well, maybe we'll throw them this way instead. just to take up a little bit of space there. Because I do think it's nice having this this whole departures area kind of filled up a little bit more. Even if most of it's not actually functioning. Most of it's just a bunch of shops that aren't doing anything, but that's fine. Also, what is going on here? Why are you all wanting into that, why do you all want in there? All of a sudden. It seems like out of nowhere, everyone wants to go into that lounge. How many people are downstairs? Oh, there we go. We're starting to get those issues again. Like I said, they do pop up from time to time where people kind of run around and just don't know what they're doing. But I am curious to see how these two lounges kind of turn out. I think that is a good use of the space. I've also not seen any planes going through de-icing yet. It is fall at the minute, or autumn if you prefer. So maybe giving it a little bit, we're going to start seeing planes in winter heading through the de-icing pads. Honestly, I have no idea. But it would be nice to see those things getting used just a little bit. Oh, now this is a little bit unexpected. I opened this shop thinking it would probably just go out of business in no time at all, but it's actually doing, well, sort of okay. It's got some sales. It's got some people in there, which is nice to see. So I think what I'm going to do is just try and get a few more shops in here, because we have that decent one. I say get a few more shops in here. Looking at it, I don't actually think we're going to be able to do that without potentially getting rid of some of the bathrooms, which, I mean, looking down here, we could get rid of this one, we could get rid of this one, and then still, well, hold on, that one. Yeah, so we could get rid of 2 of them and still have 3 bathrooms, you know, spread throughout the departures area. So we'll turn those off. And I guess what we do is just bulldoze all of this. We can delete that room, which check room, no wait, delete, not turn it on. There we go. So that's gone. And then up this way, I think we do exactly the same thing. I think we go ahead and say that we're going to bulldoze all of this and then delete you as well. And then essentially we want to measure this out and see if we can turn it into 2 separate spaces. So that's 35. So we're looking, oh boy, I want to say, I have no idea. What's the midpoint roughly? So 18 and 18 would be 36. So if I do 17 there and I do 17 there, the midpoint's 18. Yeah. So if we do that, that's kind of our midpoint right there. So that's fine. Which means if I go here, this is the midpoint down this way. So what we're going to be looking to do, I guess, is bring that wall out of there, bring that wall out of there. We'll kind of leave that bit in the middle. And I guess, honestly, I could probably just go ahead and build the rough layout of a couple of shops here. And then just copy it down to the lower area as well. So what we'll do is I think we will do these kind of hedge walls, so people kind of have to come down and in on both sides, and I think that's okay. I think we can also get rid of that room and that one as well, and we'll do the same down at the lower end as well, just to keep everything nice and neat. So that's a pretty good space, to be honest. I do think that's a pretty good space. I think in terms of flooring, we'll go for this nice light wood, since it brightens the space up really nicely. And I think we can go ahead and sort of just do this right down here as well. So now that we've got that, I guess what we do is we can go ahead and we can copy and paste all of this down to the lower section. We'll set up one of the shops, and then I guess we just copy that layout into all of these, which should be easy enough to do. They are all the same size, and they're not all going to be the exact same type of shop, but they're all the same size, so it should work out. So 2 shops are good to go, but I've actually decided that 2 of these spaces can actually be for food rather than for some shopping. I'm just not sure if I want to do restaurants or if I want to just sort of do regular kind of food stores. And I'm tempted by the food stores because it is going to be a bit quicker. But restaurants, I feel we've got a little bit more opportunity to do something interesting with. So I think it's going to be, I think we're going to try restaurants here. I'm not too sure how well it's going to work though. But if we have a look, I mean, well, we could do wine and cheese. We could. And then for this place, we need some fridges as well. For, I mean, do we even have, yeah, so we need some cooking stations, chairs, tables, cafe counters. Okay. Modular sofas for that one. Need stoves and cooking stations. Let's give it a shot. Let's try and get something good in here. So we need, what do we got? Stoves, counters, sinks, cooking stations. Right. So 1, 2, 3 of those. We'll throw a couple of stoves in there as well. And we can do, what else have we got? We've got some snacks. We have, you know, beer taps and stuff like that. So let's do a beer tap there. And let's do a, I guess, a coffee machine right there. And then what else do we need for some of these restaurants? Some modular sofas. Some of them are probably going to need, what else do they need? Chairs, tables, things like that. Okay. That should be all right. And I should be able to just make that all a staff area right there as well. So modular sofas, chairs, and tables. All right. So if we go in here, we can get a nice corner piece for, well, the corner. Once the game's done auto-saving. So a nice corner piece there and there. We can go for some regular straight sections just here and here. And I guess we maybe do a little straight section there as well. And I think, honestly, we can kind of dot these down the sides like this a little bit. And then go ahead and do some regular chairs. And I kind of like the modern armchairs. I think they're pretty good. So I think we just dot those kind of opposite. Maybe none up in those bits, but that's all right. And I think we just go ahead and kind of do this type of thing, right? We just have a bunch of chairs right in the middle of the place. It's a little uninspired, I'll be honest, but it's gonna do the job, and that's kind of all I need it to do is do the job. So that's all right. We'll go for some nice round tables in the in some of these spaces as well, where we can get away with it in, well, 4 spaces. And then the rest of it's just gonna be the regular tables, which should give us the ability to get pretty much any restaurant that we want in here. So I think that's okay. I think that'll kind of work out. So let me go ahead and just copy all of that, and we'll just put it in this space way, oh, not down here at all. It's actually going to be up at the top, right about there. So this is going to go right there. That is also going to be a staff area in the kitchen space. So staff zone right there. And let's just see what we can do. So what can we get our hands on? We can get the sushi place, and then down below, we can go ahead and what can we get? We can get this place right here, an Italian kitchen. That sounds fantastic. So if we do a little bit of painting, which I'm going to keep relatively minimal on these because they might not end up, you know, staying. But if it's an Italian kitchen, we'll go for kind of a nice red right there across the sofas, which doesn't want to work for some reason. It really doesn't want to work today. There we go. It's finally going. I don't want a red table. I really don't want that. So let's go for maybe a dark kind of brown-ish color on the wood right there. And I'm slightly tempted to try kind of a dark green on some of these chairs. I don't know if that works. I don't know if it's not really a good look, is it? It's really not. I'm thinking on the counters as well. I'm gonna go for the dark green. So there we go. It's a look. It is definitely a look. And I said I wasn't gonna do much in the way of decorating, but I'm gonna do this as well. And we'll give the kitchen just its own little tiled floor right there as well. So that's our Italian place. And then the sushi place, what's the color that they've got? Kind of an orange and white. So they're sort of there already, which is good, but let's go for a little stronger on the orange. Maybe slightly more that way for the orange as well. That looks pretty good. So we'll go for kind of bright orange on the on all of the seating. And I guess we go for white on the tables. I also really wish the zone would stop flashing every time I hover over something. Also you, bright orange, please. There we go. And then something like that. So relatively plain and simple for the sushi place. Relatively. I don't hate it too much. And then what can I do for a floor? Can we get that swapped out for... Ooh. The floor might have to be tiles in here, which might look a bit weird. It does look a bit weird, but I think we'll keep it. So there we go. We should have all of those opening in no time at all. The lounges up here haven't opened yet, which is a bit weird, to be honest. I was kind of expecting those to open sooner than later. Although I don't think they open until 4 in the morning, so we might just be waiting for staff to get here. And oh my god. So that's full and this is filling. Interesting. I'm actually slightly surprised that security is still not really holding up. But we are making ridiculous money. We're over 9 million now. So looking at economy, 260,000 previous day, 543. Hold on, we've made 260,000 in the last 4.5 hours. Oh, wow. Oh, and these are open. Fantastic. I don't know that we're going to have anyone going into the 2 lounges, but they're open. And honestly, they kind of look okay. So that's nice. I really do doubt that anyone's even going to bother using them, but they exist, and that's what's important. Moving down this way, have either of these places opened? They absolutely have not. And moving down here, neither of these two have opened either. Okay, well, hopefully they're successful, because if they're not, they're going to close in about 5 minutes time, and that would be a bit of a pain. Oh, good, the sushi place is open. I mean, there's no one that wants to shop in here, but it's there we go. So we do have people wanting to go in there. That's not bad. And then this shop's opening up as well, which is fantastic. This place is opening up. This place is open. Although I imagine this place is going to really suffer with customers because, well, quite frankly, it is down there a little bit. It's got 2 stands to deal with. And I would imagine by the time most of the customers get down there, they're probably going to be ready to board their flight, so they might not be too interested. Hopefully the Italian place fares a little bit better. I'm definitely hoping, though I wonder, do they need all members of staff to be present before people will actually use it? It does kind of look that way, doesn't it? And I've got no idea where this final chef is going to be. He might not even be through security yet, for all we know, which would certainly be a bit of a pain. Although looking up this way, this place actually does have customers. It's made 3 of 95 sales, which I have to imagine we can do 95 sales in a day, right? This place needs 220, but it's at 60 already, which is pretty good. So I would imagine that we can do some decent sales. And this place still doesn't have the other chef. These guys have done 1 of 260, so they're definitely going to be struggling to do that. Huh. I might be a little bit too hopeful on on what these places can achieve, but hopefully they manage to pull it off. This place here, 5 of 100, and the lounges. I mean, there was someone in the Skyfly lounge, so it's not all bad. And then looking back at security, I mean, oh my god, that's a bit rough. It's a bit rough to look at. I'm not really sure what we do there other than potentially just expand security even further, which we could do. Reasonably, we could do that. I don't know that I want to do that, but we could. And I feel like I have to. I do feel like I have to. So let's do some foundation right here. And let's expand this considerably. Let's do 15 by 8. And let's do some demolishing right here. So, I'm not 100% sure that I have a, I'm not 100% sure that I have an idea of what I'm about to do. I'm hoping this works, but it's potentially just going to push the bottleneck into the passport check. And security is not consistently busy either. It does sort of come and go a little bit, you know, like the tide. There's waves of passengers, and then suddenly there's none, and then there's another wave comes along a little bit later and ends up being a whole thing. So hopefully what I'm doing here actually works out. So let's just see if I can copy and paste some stuff. I want all of this right there. And I basically want to try and do maybe 5 more. I think 5 more security checkpoints, they have to be enough. So that's 2 right there. That's 3. That's 4. And that's 5. That's gotta be enough. There's no way that's not gonna be enough. And can I demolish this bit at the end? I absolutely can. Okay. So that goes away. We put a section of wall right here. And that's gotta be enough. It's really gotta be enough. So people can kind of go through there. They can go down this way. They can do their thing. And hopefully that's going to be enough. Now we're going to need a lot more people working security for this to actually work, but I don't see how this can't be enough. And there we go. We have everything built. I don't have windows in the bottom of this right now, but that's fine. I'm just sort of hoping that everyone can kind of filter through and get to where they need to be. And this will hopefully allow more people through into international departures. And that it really should move the problem into the passport checks. We should end up seeing a whole bunch of people backing up here because more people are getting through at any one time from security. I wasn't really intending on building all of this up here ever. I didn't really have the intention on having sort of a big old security space upstairs, but apparently it is something we've needed. I'm also wondering, can I take away... No, I can't take that away. That's unfortunate. Would have been nice to sort of not have that look as ugly as it does, but I guess we're living with it. And I guess that's just the way that whole setup's going to be. I'm also wanting to make sure that we keep getting more security guards in here. I think I just hired an awful one. Hold on a minute. Staff overview, security officers, sort by skill. I absolutely did. Can I train you to be good? Well, sort of. I guess we'll train the rest of you as well while we're here, just to make you all that little bit more efficient. And how many pages? We have 10 pages of security officers. I think we're fine. I feel like we have enough, and I feel like everybody is actually starting to get through here now. There's no full queues upstairs, and there's several downstairs, but I think that's partly because the AI in the game is just freaking out a little bit, which it does from time to time. I mean, let's be honest. It's a lot of AI that it's kind of trying to keep track of, and I have seen a couple of people that are like, you know, you could upgrade your PC. Look, you're right. I absolutely could upgrade my PC. And I mean this in the most loving way possible, because there was a comment on the last episode of this series from the official YouTube channel for Airport CEO. And I do mean this in the most loving way I can possibly say it. If there is one game that's not gonna move me to upgrade my PC, it's Airport CEO. because the only thing I would upgrade in my PC right now is the graphics card. And whilst I do enjoy this art style and have enjoyed it in games like Prison Architect and RimWorld, Academia, etc., you know, similar looks, I don't think an upgrade to a 3080 Ti or whatever it is, a 3090, I don't think it's going to be useful. Now, a CPU upgrade, I could do that, but I think we're fine. I think a little bit more streamlining in my airport design would go a long way before I need to actually upgrade anything. I think essentially actually having different terminals would probably go a long way. Actually having multiple ways into the airport so you can go to the international terminal rather than having absolutely everyone going through the same entrance through the same check-in process. There's a lot I could do to streamline this. And also, I was completely correct. This has backed up a fair bit. And that's something we'll have to deal with in the near future as well. But I do want to talk about just very, very quickly before we wrap up this episode. You know, I've just made mention of in future, I would want to streamline, you know, terminals and stuff like that. I'm going to be honest, right? I've talked about how once this series is done, we're going to do some sim airport and maybe some other airport sim games as well. I'm already thinking about things we can do when we eventually come back to Airport CEO. And I definitely think my next airport, I want to do 3 very distinct terminals. I want to take this idea, right? This idea of, you know, little regional departures, domestic departures, international departures. I want to take that concept and I want to turn it into 3 actually separated terminal buildings so that the check-ins for any one type of flight will be in their own area, the security in its own area. That way we don't have several thousand people coming through this one space at any one time. I think that would probably improve not only the actual monetary performance of the airport, but probably the performance of the game as well. Because while I've got people moving through security now quite nicely, like I said, the passport checkpoint is a bit of a problem. So we're going to have to do something about that. Also, money is pretty good right now. We're doing very well. We're currently 443,000 and we're not even 12 hours into the day. I think it's going to be a good one for the old bank balance right there.